Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that the boycott that we've all been making fun about when it comes to Genshin Impact, when it comes to the lack of willingness in this community to actually follow through, it seems that we might have been wrong, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got one whale over here, or honestly, maybe even an ex-whale over here, making some very, very, very public statements about just how up and how greedy Hoyoverse is. Let's just take a look at this over here. A Chinese user apparently said, "I'm retiring anyway, so it's fine if I get banned," and applied for a refund of a full year's worth of payments, resulting in their Primo Gems balance going to minus 831,430, apparently equivalent to 1.3 million yen, which is about, according to my translation over here, about $7,700 USD. So what happens over here is that your Primo Gem balance will go into the negatives. And if by like the end of the month or some shit like that, if it's not back up to zero, your account basically gets permanently banned. So essentially, right, in the case of like payment fraud or like, you know, using the wrong credit card or charges getting reversed, this is what can occur. So kind of like the end result, ladies and gentlemen, is very, very, very simple. This person is basically calling it quits on the game and made sure to get their last little bit of cash back, a significant amount, if we're going to be honest, especially spent over a year, right? Because they're done with the company. They're done with Hoyoverse, and of course, they're done with some of the, let's be honest here, bullshit that's been happening over the past couple of days with Genshin Impact. The first and foremost one just being this summary post over here. I think most people know about this by now. 60 polls, 2 characters, Low Hen and shitty blonde shorekeeper, and 1 patch. I don't even want to joke about it. It's just sad at this point. My condolence to the Genshin community. So naturally, there's already a bunch of people that are just kind of pissed by the fact that 60 polls isn't even enough to hit pity on any banner in this game. That doesn't feel like a great reward for scouring an entire patch, getting all the possible rewards, getting all the achievements, everything associated with it, logging in every day, doing the dailies, every event, and only getting 2/3 of the way to pity. Most people would be kind of upset. It feels like you're not even being told to play the game. It almost feels like you're being told to drop it for a good period of time. You even have content creators in the space, some of the biggest ones in the space, specifically the Genshin one, calling this out. I wish for a world where free-to-play players can get enough wishes for at least 1 soft pity per patch instead of the usual 65-ish. Sad face. My statement was simple. The Genshin Impact developers don't need to do anything. As long as whales, as long as spenders keep spending. Why would the Genshin Impact devs, when they've clearly gone into full milking mode with their roster, with their endgame, with their shilling, with their boss design, when the game is at the lowest levels of flexibility, in endgame content, in what teams you can use, in how you can build teams, that it's ever seen. It's the most free-to-play unfriendly it's ever been. And the bosses are the most shilled and like archetype specific we've ever seen. Why would they even slightly care about free-to-play players anymore? If they cared about free-to-play players, Doro, Mavuik and Sitlali on release wouldn't have done 50% more total damage than every other team in the game. If they cared about free-to-play players and past investments and all that shit, the Gecko from Stygian Onslaught wouldn't require you to have a Guillotine to have any chance of beating it. Linnea wouldn't have gone in and raised the damage ceiling again for the 17th fucking time. These guys don't care about free-to-play players anymore, as long as they're able to get their income from somewhere. And you want to know where that income was coming from? People like this. And this is where it's actually going to have Hoyo listening. This is actually where Hoyo's wallet is getting hit. Because if these whales, these big spenders, stop spending, then suddenly, ooh, you might have to start being a little bit more generous, right? For some of your free-to-plays. Incentivize them to become lower spenders and not do repeats of the absolute nonsense, of the absolute garbage that's happening in here. And this is going to be a really, really, really funny statement that I want to show you from a CC who's literally causing these issues, but they decided, hey, I'm going to grift a little bit and then jump on the anti-Genshin bandwagon. We got Genizat over here, Mr. 7 out of 10 once again. He doesn't even realize he's the cause of the issue. 100% he's responding to Doro's tweet. Don't know why so many gacha players don't think it's okay to ask more from companies making millions to billions in any of these big gacha games. It isn't entitlement. I spend a bunch. Why not let everyone get more? Bitch, if you're the reason... Sorry, let me amend that statement. Bitch, you're the reason nobody else is getting more. You log in. You play these games like a vacation. You log into HSR or whatever Hoyo game you haven't logged into a while. Drop a couple hundos, then play the patch, then leave. Hoyo loves that you're doing that. They know they don't need to make good content then that actually keeps you there. They know they don't need to make actual engaging stuff, engaging storylines that have you wanting to play the rest of the game. You're literally just out here bragging about being a literal LARPer. That, and I'm too lazy to log into some of the games for daily since I played so many gachas, impossible to keep up. So all I do is I log in, I drop money to go play the new content in the patch, and then I leave. You're the exact type of player that allows these companies to not be generous in the fucking first place. Because imagine if there was actually 90 polls or 100 polls in the update. Aren't you incentivized to not LARP, to actually do the dailies, to actually play and do all of this stuff because you're actually getting possible rewards? You might be able to get a character in this update. That's the type of gameplay you should be promoting for gachas, where you can simply play them a lot during the update, get quality playtime out of them, and then get plentiful rewards too. And you want to know a game that does that? Let me show you one of the big reasons for why so many people are crashing the fuck out. It's very simple. This is the number of free-to-play polls in Wuthering Waves 3.3. 163 free-to-play polls. That is literally over, like, basically 100 free-to-play polls over the Genshin update, along with plenty more content to do and all of that stuff. Genshin players literally have to go watch Wuthering Waves, have 100 more free-to-play polls than they do. And then the next patch, remember, this is the anniversary patch, 3.3. The next patch, we get... I mean, what do you want me to say, bro? The next patch right after that, guys, we get Rebecca and then the Cyberpunk collab, and then she's for free there. So it's kind of like, yeah, we just got off a 163 poll patch, the most generous patch in WoWA history, the most free-to-play polls ever. Then the patch right after that, by the way, guys, you're getting a free 5-star. A free collaboration, limited 5-star, by the way. That might not actually be rerunning again, so you don't got to save up for her. Oh, and by the way, there's no anniversary banners on this patch where we have 163, so you kind of, like, have to save anyways. So you're getting the collab character that you want, too. Isn't it kind of clear why so much of the Genshin community has been crashing out? You get that amazing Cyberpunk collab teaser, but that's after seeing that they got 100 more polls than you as well in WoWA, and then after the Cyberpunk collab teaser, they get the free Rebecca, too. Is this even surprising at this point? Is it even unknown why these individuals would be so mad, why they're so mad at Hoyoverse, and why all of the anger is reaching a boiling point right now? It's because you are seeing firsthand what occurs when that developer, right, that's actually making money is going ahead and now actually starting to give back to the player base. And the funny thing is, right, is that Genizat over here doesn't seem to realize he's the biggest cause of all the issues. When Hoyoverse has proven themselves as a company that takes your money and then invests it into literally anything other than back into the game, you're still giving them money. And so you are promoting the exact type of behavior that you're complaining about because you're supporting Hoyo games. In Wuthering Waves, people know where their money goes. People know that when they spend money in WoWA, this is what they get. 163 poll updates. When they spend money in WoWA, this is what they get. Free limited collab 5 stars. Right after the most generous update they ever had poll-wise. Bro, with this many polls, nobody could even get mad if Rebecca wasn't free. 163 in one update, and then this as well? Holy fuck. I don't think that there's anyone that even regrets spending in this game. But this one? Yeah, I don't know about that one, brother. And when you're out here as a content creator promoting this garbage level of engagement, and I think Gotcha Smack, the other massive fucking grifter in the space, is also saying the same fucking shit. Yeah, all I do to enjoy gachas nowadays is I log in once an update, play it for like 3 or 4 days, drop a couple of dollary dues, then move on. You're just promoting the exact same type of like fast food level content consumption that's just terrible. Has led to some of the worst patches in Genshin, HSR, and ZZZ history, right? And you're just promoting it even more and more by just bragging about how little you play these games, and so you substitute it with money instead and just promote more garbage, brain-dead, awful content that you don't want to do. Yeah, Hoyo, it doesn't matter if all your events are shit, not worth playing, and garbage. I wasn't playing them anyways. I wasn't going to be playing these shitty events anyways. I'm just going to be spending money. Ha! Yeah, I bet you learned a lesson, didn't you? You dumb devs. Now I'm not going to play your game, so you don't have to put any effort into it, and I'm still going to give you money. It's just so dumb, and it's so fucking unreal, bro. It is so fucking unreal. Listen to this. Listen to Gotcha Smack here.
Yeah.
So we start doing things like the shitty events that nobody would ever in their right mind do unless they give you something.
You know what I'm saying? And there lies the problem. I try to tell people all the time, these events are garbage. Why are they garbage? Because the only reason you are doing them most of the time is to just get that little pull currency at an attempt to acquire a character. You aren't doing the event because it's good gameplay design, because it's genuinely fun and addicting. It's just for a pull currency. This is, and here's, again, another gotcha trap. They want you to do these things and spend your time, or you can say, F that event is so booty cheeks. All of them are so annoying. I'm not enjoying them. I'm just going to spend money, right? It's time versus money a lot of the times in these gotcha games. And it's probably the most emphasized genre in gaming that does it with this much pressure, FOMO, and like bullshit practice.
And you want to know what this guy just brags about? Just logging in, skipping all the events, and just spending money. This dude just logs in, brags about him skipping all the content so he can just spend money and promote more of this behavior. Hey, I don't like the events because they're bad and they're only done for pull currency. I'm gonna promote that practice by skipping all the events and just giving them money. Do you see how these CCs are just literally literally a bane to the fucking player? Do you see how they're like a bane to the player? In this circumstance, guys, what you do is you just skip the event and then you also don't spend the money. Or you do the event and then just talk firsthand about how dog shit it is. But as long as you're going to be giving money to the company, but then also saying that what they're doing is bad, you're promoting what they're doing. And if you're looking for evidence of this guy being the exact sort of grifter that we're talking about over here, don't worry, guys. I got the perfect video for you. Let's hear a little bit about this. He already bought the $34 one for this unit. Already there. And he's about to buy the $70 one. So he just spent $103. He's about to spend $103. But listen to how he minimizes it for this sponsored stream.
All right, anyways, get back to this. 70 bucks. Who cares, chat? I mean, I'm sponsored, brother. It's not a big deal.
Compare that to this.
This is about to be fucking painful, bro. Because here's the thing, chat. $100 ain't enough to cover both Ameth and this.
He talking about how $100 in this game is not enough to cover both Ameth and this. Why do you wanna know why? Because this dude proudly skips everything in Wuthering Waves. Proudly skips every bit of content that gives him pulls, then goes in and starts bitching and moaning about the fact he has to spend money. We take a look at one of his live streams over here, bro.
We're out here getting taxed, bro. All right, we're gonna have to go back to the shop.
But then he's out there being like, yeah, $70 ain't no big deal. And you want to know what the funniest fucking part is, guys? Bro made like a fucking post somewhere bragging about how he was intentionally skipping Wuwa's 1 pull a week weekly thing. Like, it's like the Fantasy's 1,000 Gateways. Yeah, I remember him like fucking making a whole goddamn publicized post bragging about how he's intentionally skipping it. Like, intentionally just not getting the pulls. Maybe he deleted it, bro. I don't know what it was. But this dude complains so much about playing these fucking games. But the second he's sponsored by one of them, bro, he's all about, oh, yo, I'm a paying player, boys. I'm a paying player over here. It ain't no big deal. When all they're doing is simply going ahead and telling these companies, hey, your strategy works, guys. Please keep making the events giga bad. I'll just go ahead and spend money, which is exactly what you want me to fucking do. I'm just going to spend money instead. So you have no reason to make the events better. You have no reason, right, to be doing or improving the game at all. I'm just going to throw more money at you to solve the problems that you made. Literal cow consumers. Literal goals for these gacha companies. Have players and even content creators that are going to support the message of just spend money to get rid of all the game's problems. That's what the space has turned into, ladies and gentlemen. And they're bragging about it too. Bringing us back to like the centerfold, bringing us back to like the entire discussion at hand. I don't think it's very surprising at all that stuff like this has occurred. I'm just merely surprised that somebody who actually has spent enough money to do some damage, right, actually pulled the trigger. Because one thing about these games is that they're primarily driven by whales. I think everyone knows that. They spend all this cash. They spend all these resources, all of that stuff. They kind of do get to dictate what ends up getting put into the game. Because if nobody buys anything, what's the point of even developing it? And these individuals, with the amount of money that they spend, the lack of pulls, all of that, it's never actually an issue to them because of the amount that they're spending. But in a similar vein, you're allowed to not like the direction of the game, even with all of the stuff that you're actually getting. Or even with all of the stuff that you're able to buy on your own, without the devs handing out any freebies. And I think one thing that's very clear is that this Genshin update is actually also bad on top of having no fucking pulls. And people can probably tell how the state of the game has been trending downward for the longest period of fucking time. And apparently this is a big one too. We received information from someone in China. Their account is tied to personal information, so it also means this person will never be able to play another MiHoYo game. Yeah, like with their social credit score and shit like that. So this might just be them being pissed off at everything that Hoyo is doing. And so this might be like a cross-ban for all their fucking games. This is the difference between virtue signaling, leaving a 1-star review, hashtag doing my part, all of that baby nonsense, baby shit that people love advertising nowadays. That's virtue signaling. This is actually doing something. This is an actual boycott. And if more people do stuff like this, this leads to actual change and potentially an improvement. But these like rat fucking virtue signaling CCs over here that are just gonna like, yeah, I'm gonna be over here spending money to support every practice this gacha company is doing, but I'm also gonna say that, yeah, they should be more generous too. I'm paying them a lot of money to keep things exactly the same, but I also want change. That's why I'm still giving them money. It doesn't make sense. If you want gacha companies to change anything, you need to stop spending money on their game. Do you think I ever stopped spending money on Wuthering Waves? No. I spent less during some patches when I don't like them, but at a core, the game is still going in the direction that I'm happy with. So I never feel the need to stop spending. There are some patches where all I buy is the monthly and the BP. There are some patches where I top up like 200, 300 bucks. It truly does depend. But when a game has been on a constant downtrend, like all of the Hoyoverse titles, there's a certain point where you guys got to realize when it's happening across all 3 titles, you just need to stop spending as a whole. But I don't think the player base has gotten to that point yet. It is what it is. But yeah, that's just the difference between 2 titles, 2 games like this. And of course, the community of grifting and all of that seemed to be more so centered around Wuwa instead, which is frustrating, but it is what it is. Because, let's be real here, it's not easy to talk about all the issues and all the problems plaguing Genshin Impact. It's hard to talk about Wuwa's problems. That's why people make them up. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.